on International Trade Law. Welcome. Dr. Gamelin Pini-Puvido, Secretary General of the Asian African Legal Consultative Organization. Welcome. And Dr. Christophe Bernasconi, Secretary General of the Hague Conference on Private International Law. Welcome. And Professor Ignacio Torrado, Secretary General of the International Institute for the Unification of Private Law. Welcome. Ms. Martina Polasek, the Secretary General of the International Center for Settlement of Investment Disputes, who will be joining us by video. And also Dr. Sun Jin, Director General of the IOMAT Preparatory Office, Chair of the IOMAT Convention Negotiation. 欢迎. And also Dr. Li Miao, Legal Director of China Merchants Port Holdings Company Limited. 非常欢迎你. So I'll pass the time to Mr. Yun. Mr. Yun, please.
Thank you. Thank you. As pointed out by the MC just now, this session will focus on mediation in the context of international investment and international commercial disputes mediations. As we are a little bit tight in terms of time, so perhaps I should say no more, and without further ado, if I may invite our first speaker, the Honorable Roy Chok, the Minister of Justice of Jamaica, to start his presentation. Thank you very much.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is a distinct honor and privilege to address this distinguished subforum on international commercial dispute mediation. On behalf of the government of Jamaica, I bring warm greetings and deep appreciation for this opportunity to be at this signing ceremony and to share insights into our nation's journey with mediation as a tool of transformation in our justice system. Mediation, as is well known, is not merely a procedural alternative to litigation. It is a philosophy of dispute resolution grounded in cooperation, communication, and ultimately consensus. In Jamaica, we have embraced this philosophy with growing determination and urgency, particularly as we seek innovative ways to address systemic backlogs in our courts and to improve access to justice for all Jamaicans. In Jamaica, I have been championing mediation as a cornerstone of judicial reform there in Jamaica. This push arises from a clear recognition that our courts, like many around the world, have faced and continue to face considerable case backlogs, civil, family, and commercial matters, some of which can be resolved without resorting to protracted litigation. Our vision is to institutionalize mediation across the justice system as a first resort, not a last one. Under this vision, mediation is being repositioned not only as the alternative dispute resolution mechanism, but as a central pillar in our broader drive to modernize and humanize justice in Jamaica and the region. In line with this, my ministry has been working closely with the judiciary, court staff, community leaders, and trained mediators to mainstream mediation, including mandatory mediation in selected matters, and a targeted program to expand the number of cases referred to mediation. One of the most impactful innovations supporting this policy thrust has been the network of justice centers established across Jamaica parishes and operating now with 22 locations. These justice centers are a testament to what is possible when justice is brought closer to the people. Staffed with trained dispute resolution professionals and supported by the Dispute Resolution Foundation and the Ministry of Justice, these centers have served as hubs for court-referred mediation. The results have been encouraging. Thousands of cases have been successfully mediated through these centers, often within a matter of days, compared to months or even years if pursued through the courts. The settlement rate has exceeded 70%, indicating strong public trust and the efficacy of the mediation process. Importantly, these outcomes have freed up judicial resources, allowing the courts to focus on more complex or contentious matters. While much of our mediation work to date has focused on domestic, civil, and family matters, we are now laying the groundwork to expand mediation into the sphere of commercial and international disputes. We understand that in today's interconnected global economy, the ability to resolve cross-border disputes efficiently is a strategic asset. Jamaica's ambition is to become a regional leader in offering reliable, neutral, and cost-effective platform for international commercial mediation, especially for Caribbean-based trade and business entities. To this end, the Ministry is working with regional partners and international organizations to build mediator capacity in specialized commercial areas, promote legislative reforms that give greater legal recognition to mediated agreements, strengthen public-private partnerships, encouraging chambers of commerce and business associations to use mediation, and importantly, to enhance awareness in the business community of the benefits of early dispute resolution. Our journey is ongoing, but the momentum is real. As we look to the future, the Ministry is committed to expanding the cadre of trained mediators, integrating mediation into legal education and professional training, promoting digital mediation platforms to serve remote and international users, and measuring impact with rigorous data collection processes and transparent reporting. We believe the Jamaican model, grounded in local access through justice centers, supported by clear policy direction, and animated by a vision of timely and amicable justice, is one that can offer useful lessons for other jurisdictions, including our stakeholders here in China. Ladies and gentlemen, mediation offers not just a solution to court congestion, but a transformational approach to justice, one that places people at the center of resolution, that values dialogue over confrontation, and that delivers results with dignity. Jamaica's experience reminds us that with commitment, collaboration, and community engagement, we can create systems of justice that are not only efficient, but profoundly humane. We look forward to continued dialogue, partnership, and innovation in this vital area of international cooperation. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. Thank you so much for your sharing. I think we can't agree more that mediation is not just a procedural alternative to litigation. It is a form of philosophy in itself. And in terms of capacity building, I think all of you would notice that capacity building is one of the key objectives of the establishment of IOMED, and therefore I'm sure there will be plenty of room of cooperation and collaboration between our institutions and Jamaica. So thank you again. If I may move on to our second speakers, turning to Ministers of Foreign Affairs, International Cooperation and Communities of Guinea-Bissau, His Excellency Carlos Pinto Pereira. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor to have received the invitation from the government of People's Republic of China to participate in this landmark global launch of the International Organization for Mediation in this historic and beautiful city of Hong Kong, a city that proudly stands as a global hub of commerce and cultural exchange, bridging East and West. Guinea-Bissau is a nation familiar with the challenges of both internal and international conflicts and the transformative power of dialogue, firmly believes in mediation as a tool of sustainable peace. We hold the conviction that in an increasingly interconnected world, disputes between states or nations or between particular investors must be resolved through dialogue, mutual understanding, and respect, rather than confrontation. Like post-war Europe under the Marshall Plan, African nations, including Guinea-Bissau, face similar challenges today, especially to reorganize and revitalize our economies, relying on international loans and private investments, whether through individual initiatives or public-private partnerships. Yet, the absence of a strong and unified judicial system remains a major obstacle to attracting quality investment to our countries. Against this backdrop, there is a clear and growing trend toward removing or reducing barriers to international trade and investment, fostering a global economic model of delocalized production and constant cross-border transactions. This has made the world economy a complex system marked by deep cultural differences, competing interests among stakeholders. In this context, mediation, much like voluntary arbitration, emerges as a neutral forum capable of overcoming the complexity through alternative dispute resolution mechanisms, bypassing traditional judicial routes. Alongside arbitration, mediation has become one of the most critical and widely discussed topics in international investment and trade. It enables parties to transcend cultural barriers and conflicting interests, fostering mutually beneficial solutions. Moreover, reducing social tensions, preserving peace, and driving socioeconomic development all call for robust, streamlining, and coherent dispute resolution mechanism, particularly for conflicts arising from international investments and contracts. At its core, every contract and negotiation is built on a relationship, one that goes beyond legal and economic dimensions to encompass social and psychological aspects. In a relational society like commerce, this is of paramount importance. Therefore, mediation stands as the best pathway to maintain, promote, and develop relationships, especially in trade. Through mediation, parties are guided by a neutral mediator to diagnose and peacefully resolve their disputes. Mediation is a voluntary dispute resolution method involving one or more neutral third parties, typically appointed by mutual agreement. Their role is to restore broken communication after a dispute arises. Though historically used for private or interstate conflicts, mediation has evolved into one of the most effective tools for social harmony, peace building, and participatory socio-economic development. In Guinea-Bissau, mediation is, in its unique form, has long been a common means of resolving all types of disputes, including political ones. Often, conflicts are informally settled through the intervention of friends, family, holders, and political or religious leaders, all acting as de facto mediators, whether in urban or rural settings. Recognizing its importance, Guinea-Bissau has, in recent decades, formalized mediation alongside voluntary arbitration, both domestically and internationally. In Guinea-Bissau, among the relevant domestic and international sources on these subjects, the following stand out: the Uniform Act of Mediation by OHADA, the Organization for the Harmonization of Business Law in Africa, which already includes over 17 African countries, and the ICSID Convention from the World Bank. Unlike arbiters, mediators do not impose decisions, but instead help parties visualize the dispute dimensions and collaboratively craft a solution. A dispute is only resolved when both parties agree. This role guiding parties toward understanding the legal and practical dimension of their conflict demands specific technical and ethical skills from mediators, particularly in restoring communication and ethically guiding conflicting parties. Thus, the establishment of an international organization for mediation is of utmost importance. Such an institution, staffed by highly qualified professionals, can help bridge cultural divides and preserve commercial relationships. On behalf of the government of Guinea-Bissau, which I am honored to represent today, I strongly endorse this initiative. We hope this forum will yield a clear and unwavering commitment to advancing international mediation as a means of promoting foreign investment, economic growth, and inclusive development. Finally, allow me to congratulate Minister Wang Yi and the Chinese government for their vision, courage, and organizational excellence in hosting this event. We are confident that the International Organization for Mediation we established today will become a vital platform for peaceful global resolution, dispute resolution, complementing existing mechanisms with innovation and inclusivity. Let us move forward with a shared sense of purpose, knowing that today's signing is not merely a ceremonial act, but a promise to future generations that we choose dialogue over division, peace over conflict. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Minister. Thank you for your thoughts and insights. I think among others, we would all agree that whether in relation to disputes between states or disputes in the context of investment or commercial disputes, they should be dealt with and resolved through dialogue, mutual understanding and mutual respect, rather than confrontation or other means, whether in the form of tariffs or otherwise. I think we can move on to our next eminent speakers, the President and Chair of the Board of Directors of the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, Mr. Jin Liqun. Thank you, Mr. Jin.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great privilege to join this milestone event on behalf of Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank. I would like to express my heartfelt congratulations on the successful convention signing of the International Organization for Mediation. Following the joint statement on the future establishment of the IMOD in 2022, and announcement on Hong Kong as the host city of IOMED last year, the convention signing today marks another significant stride towards the establishment of IMOD in the near future. As an important initiative proposed by China and supported by so many other countries, IOMED, once established, will be the first intergovernmental organization dedicated to resolving international disputes through mediation. It will complement the existing international judicial and other organizations by providing a new option for peaceful settlement of international disputes enshrined in a UN Charter. It will also serve as an important multilateral platform to provide global public goods that can promote the cultural and best practice of mediation and enhance communication, capacity building, and information sharing for developing countries in the dispute resolution area. I would like to echo Foreign Minister Wang Yi's remarks at the signing ceremony this morning, emphasizing that this success is a remarkable achievement of multilateralism. This also reminds me of 10 years ago when I headed a team to prepare for the establishment of AIIB. While the mandate and business focus of our bank are very much different from those of IOMED, one common experience that can be shared by both of two organizations and many other international organizations is that upholding the spirit of multilateralism is a key to mobilizing support to the extent possible to translate concept into reality. AIIB has been inspired by and benefiting from the spirit of multilateralism through its journey. This was evident from the outset during the negotiation phase, where a consensus-based, extensive, consultative, and mutually respectful approach enabled 57 founding members to complete the Articles of Agreement negotiation within 2 years. This approach is deeply embedded in AIIB's DNA and continues to inspire new joiners to our bank. Today, we have grown to as an Asia-focused global MDB with 110 members extensively from all continents and a highly professional and diversified staff team of 700 people from more than 70 countries, including non-member countries. There are 316 approved projects totaling over $60 billion in 38 member countries. As a young bank with a decade of history, AIIB is committed to fostering extensive partnership with various stakeholders, including international organizations. For the IOMED to be established, while arbitration is a standing means of dispute resolution in our bank's investment and corporate activities, we envisage that opportunities of institutional collaboration between two organizations can be explored. This could include capacity building, information and knowledge sharing, and training opportunities, helping AIIB understand how mediation can likewise be factored into the dispute resolution processes for our bank's operations and activities where appropriate in the future. Lastly, I would like to take this opportunity to speak about Hong Kong. As a member of AIIB, Hong Kong has consistently demonstrated a responsible and constructive role in supporting our bank's high standards of governance and rapid business growth. I commend the Hong Kong SAR government for its valuable contribution. I believe that with the IOMED settling in Hong Kong, the city's unique advantage as a global financial center, regional connectivity hub, and international talent pool will be further enhanced. Our bank will continue to advance the partnership with Hong Kong and all the stakeholders it hosts. This February, our bank issued a 3-year bond denominated in Hong Kong dollars. The transaction received an enthusiastic market response. An order book of over 9 billion Hong Kong dollars, 3 times higher than the target deal size. This allowed us to close the deal at Hong Kong 4 billion Hong Kong dollars. Most importantly, our bank is the first supranational entity to do so in public benchmark issuance and in such remarkable size. We have opened new markets not only for us, but also for other MDBs. After our bank's issuance, IFC followed in AIIB's footsteps last month. We want to do more firsts like this in future, right here in Hong Kong. Once again, I would congratulate all the members of the signing of the IOMED. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Jing. Thank you for sharing the experience of AIIB, which is indeed a very good case study in the context of commercial disputes resolution. I understand Mr. Jin, in fact, has a flight to catch, and for that reason, he might have to leave early, but we again take this opportunity to express our utmost gratitude to Mr. Jin to join us and to support our activities despite his very tight schedule. So thank you again, Mr. Jin.
Thank you.
Our next speaker, if I may move on to our next speaker, the Secretary for the United Nations Commission on International Trade Law, UNCITRAL, our friend, Ms. Anna Drubenbrand. Anna, thank you.
Thank you very much. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, let me thank and congratulate the government of China, the authorities of Hong Kong SAR, and particularly our friends from the Department of Justice, for their kind invitation to participate in this global forum marking the inauguration of the IOMED. It's particularly meaningful for UNCITRAL to contribute to this event, and I'm very honored and pleased to represent the UNCITRAL Secretariat on this occasion. Also, on a more personal note, it is, of course, music to my ears and my heart to see an event centered and focused on mediation, which I've always consistently tried to advocate for. It gives us the opportunity to witness the incredible energy and purpose supporting peaceful means of settling disputes. It has been emphasized by numerous speakers at the previous session that it is a centerpiece of the United Nations Charter, and more modestly, at UNCITRAL's level, it is indeed the purpose of the UNCITRAL framework on alternative dispute resolution. So we're here to witness the fact that mediation is a peaceful and efficient way and a credible alternative to settle disputes between businesses and states, and, as we've heard, also between states. The event today further strengthens the global interest in mediation, as it's underpinned by UNCITRAL's long-established framework on international commercial mediation, and particularly the United Nations Convention on International Settlement Agreements resulting from mediation, the model law on mediation, the mediation rules, as well as the notes and other documents prepared by the Secretariat to support parties engaging in mediation. Let me first turn to the United Nations Convention on Mediation, also known as the Singapore Convention, that was adopted in December 2018 by the United Nations General Assembly. The UNGA expressed its conviction that the convention could contribute, among other things, to the development of harmonious international economic relations. The convention is the first treaty on international mediation, bridging legal systems and reflecting a worldwide consensus beyond differences in legal systems and dispute settlement cultures and practices. More importantly, it brings what was missing in the international framework on dispute resolution, that is, an effective mechanism to enforce international settlement agreements. It further contributes to the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals that we've also heard about in the previous panel, particularly SDG 16 on the promotion of access to justice. And it furthers the development of a mature, rules-based global commercial system. I hope that many more states, not only in the Asia-Pacific region, but globally, will become parties and join the already 57 signatories and 18 parties of the UN Convention on Mediation, and I trust that it will contribute to further strengthening the rule of law, the development of international trade, and sustainable development in all regions. I'm convinced that the Singapore Convention will become a cornerstone for the work of the IOMED, and we look forward to engaging effectively and to partner with the Secretariat of IOMED in its adoption and use by its member states. I wish to also briefly touch on the work that UNCITRAL has carried out on investment mediation, as it's one of the topics of this panel. In 2023, as part of the work of UNCITRAL on reforming investor-to-state dispute settlement, UNCITRAL has adopted the UNCITRAL model provisions on mediation and has adopted UNCITRAL guidelines on mediation for international investment disputes, both with the aim of encouraging the use of mediation for resolving international investment disputes. Last year, the Commission adopted the establishment of an advisory center on international investment disputes, which will also assist states in the mediation of disputes between investors and states. These instruments were among the first of the deliverables of the ISDS reform work undertaken by UNCITRAL's Working Group 3, and they underscore the strong consensus among states on the need to strengthen mediation as an effective mechanism to settle investment disputes. Here again, and in this particular area, we look forward to joining forces with the Secretariat and the membership of the IOMED to promote, adopt, support, and strengthen the use of mediation in investment disputes. Please allow me to conclude my remarks by expressing our gratitude for this opportunity to be part of this event, to witness the organization of this witness the inauguration, of this new organization dedicated to mediation, and by extending our wishes for a close collaboration in our endeavors to further promote mediation as an effective means in settling international commercial and investment disputes. I thank you very much, Chair, and I think that by this we have shown how flexible mediation can be. We can speak less than the time allowed. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for accommodating us. More importantly, thank you for sharing with us the work in relation to the UNCITRAL model provisions on mediations and the related matters. I'm sure there would be many topics of common interest that UNCITRAL and IOMEC can explore and work together, and we look forward to that. Next, perhaps if I may move on to our fifth speaker, the Secretary General of Asian African Legal Consultative Organization, ALCO, Dr. Pandit Pavado. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, before I begin my remarks, allow me to express my heartfelt gratitude to have the opportunity to be here to participate in this esteemed forum. It is both an honor and privilege to be here among such distinguished colleagues and dedicated practitioners of international law, especially the three leaders of the three sister organizations of private international law, the ancestral secretary, the secretary of the HCCH, secretary of the UIDOA, president of the AIIB, and other distinguished delegates. On behalf of the Asian African Legal Consultative Organization, or ALGO, I extend my deepest gratitude to the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the People's Republic of China and the Hong Kong SAR for hosting this timely gathering and for inviting ALGO to participate in these meaningful events. China, as one of ALGO's long-standing member states, and has been a consistent and valued supporter of the organization's activities. Its active support, especially in the field of dispute resolution, has meaningfully contributed to our shared mission of promoting international cooperation and the rule of law. In particular, the China-ALGO Exchange and Research Program on International Law. This program stands out as a flagship program, as a perspective building initiative, fostering knowledge sharing, legal education, and mutual understanding across our member states. In my remarks, I will touch upon some key themes that reflect our ongoing effort in this area of mediation. Firstly, our legacy and commitment to the peaceful settlement of disputes, including the role of mediation in our member state legal tradition. Second, the reform of the ISDS, or Investor State Dispute Settlement System, and the role of mediation within that reform process. Third, the significance of the Singapore Convention on Mediation and its contribution to the enforcement of cross-border mediated settlement agreement. Fourth, the role of our regional arbitration center, especially in strengthening mediation infrastructure and capacity across Asia and Africa. Fifth, the importance of member state participation in the creation and future developments of the IOMED. Sixth, the need for continued cooperation and capacity building, including through initiatives like China-ALGO Exchange and Research Program on International Law. And lastly, a call for strategic collaboration. I hope this reflection will contribute to our collective dialogue today and inspire new partnership toward a more just, balanced, and cooperative global legal order. With your kind permission, ladies and gentlemen, I now begin my remarks. Firstly, ALGO legacy in peaceful settlement of disputes. Since its establishment in 1956 as a tangible outcome of the Bandung Conference in 1955, ALGO has consistently promoted the peaceful settlement of international disputes. In fact, the peaceful settlement of disputes is one of the current work programs of ALGO, reflecting our ongoing commitment to fostering legal framework that upholds sovereign equality, rule of law, and mutual cooperation among states. Mediation, rooted in many of our member state legal tradition, embodies this value. Mediation is not just a legal tool. It reflects our shared tradition of solving problems by talking, respecting each other, and finding common ground. It aligns well with the value of many Asian African cultures, providing a flexible and practical way to resolve conflict in a manner that fits their tradition. Second, reform of the ISDS system, the role of mediation. The reform of the Investor State Dispute Settlement System is gaining significant attention, with ALGO actively contributing, particularly through its ongoing engagement with Ancestral Working Group 3. The work of this group is reviewed annually at the ALGO annual session under the agenda item on Asia trade and investment law. As the Ancestral Secretary mentioned earlier, Ancestral explicitly encourage the use of mediation to resolve investment disputes, recognizing it as a more balanced, inclusive, and development-oriented approach. UNCITRAL has adopted by consensus a model provision on mediation and the guidelines on mediation for international investment disputes, which establish a comprehensive framework for mediation practice in this field. Guidelines on mediation are more effective and culturally sensitive way to resolve disputes, especially for countries in Asia and Africa that value dialogue and mutual agreement. Furthermore, UNCITRAL Group 3 has emphasized the vital roles of mediation in ISDS reform, highlighting its potential to enhance accessibility and efficiency. Accordingly, we regard ILO as a timely and essential institution that complement existing mechanisms and support the progressive evolution of investment and commercial dispute resolution. Thirdly, strengthening the legal framework, the strategic nexus of the Singapore Convention. As we know, the Singapore Convention on Mediation is a landmark treaty that transforms mediation into a truly enforceable cross-border dispute resolution mechanism. By providing legal certainties, it encourages parties, especially from developing countries of Global South, to choose mediation with confidence. Its impact is amplified when combined with the creation of the IOMED. While the Convention offers a solid legal foundation for enforcement, IOMED delivers the institutional support needed to administer high-quality, neutral, and accessible mediation process globally. ALGO can play a vital connecting role when it's deep-rooted in Asia and Africa. ALGO can help bridge international legal norms with regional realities. Through legal guidance, policy buildings, and its regional arbitration center, ALGO supports both the implementation of the Singapore Convention and collaboration with the IOMED. Together, these three elements, the legal framework, Singapore Convention, the institutional platform, the IOMED, and the regional engagement, ALGO, form a powerful integrated foundation for making mediation a first-choice mechanism for resolving international disputes. Fourth, the vital roles of ALGO Regional Arbitration Center. As we know that under the auspice of ALGO, we set up the Regional Arbitration Center. Now, our 6 Regional Arbitration Center in Cairo, Kuala Lumpur, Lagos, Tehran, Nairobi, and Hong Kong play a vital role in advancing not only arbitration, but also the broader spectrum of ADR, including mediation. The center were established under the auspice of ALGO through agreement between ALGO and the respective host countries. Strategically located, the centers are equally distributed: 3 in Asia, Kuala Lumpur, Tehran, Hong Kong, SAR, and 3 in Africa, Cairo, Lagos, and Nairobi, ensuring that both regions benefit from accessible, neutral, and cost-effective mechanisms for dispute resolution. Among these centers, the ALGO Hong Kong Regional Arbitration Center holds a unique and strategic position, located at the crossroads of major legal systems and economic regions. It is ideally positioned to advance cross-border mediation in Asia. Notably, ALGO Hong Kong has also developed its own mediation rules, further strengthening its role in dispute resolution. We believe the center can take a leading role in connecting different legal systems and driving innovation in mediation practice. By working together, ALGO Center and IOMED, we can build a more robust and interconnected ADR system that benefits our member states and the broader international community. Fifth, the role of ALGO member states. We are very pleased to see today that some ALGO member states are signing the IOMED Convention, while others are preparing to do so, making a significant step forward for IOMED. This is more than just a formal step. It represents a strong collective endorsement of mediation as a vital component of the international legal. We encourage all ALGO member states to consider joining this important convention and to play an active role in shaping the developments of the IOMED. Our member states have long support legal framework that are inclusive, equitable, and representative. Their diverse legal and practical experience will be invaluable in building a mediation institution that is fair, accessible, and truly global in character. Lastly, ladies and gentlemen, as we move forward shaping the future of international dispute resolution, we must recognize that the creation of the IMED brings meaningful value to the current global legal framework on mediation. And for the AUKUS, we reaffirm its readiness to partner with the IOMED and all relevant stakeholders in building a global mediation framework that is innovative, inclusive, and truly transformative. And let this forum be remembered not only as a platform for discussion, but as a milestone in our shared journey toward more harmonious and cooperative international order. I thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Secretary General. And apart from thanking for your insightful thoughts on the matter concerning mediation, I think we may also take this opportunity to thank the support of the various ALCO members who assist to a very great extent in the establishment and the work concerning the Convention on the Establishment of IOMEC, which is indeed a collective endorsement of mediation as a cornerstone of the international legal order. Without further ado, may I move on to our next speaker, Dr. Berlusconi, the Secretary General of the Hague Conference on Private International Law. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, Secretary Lam, Excellencies, distinguished delegates, colleagues and friends. May I start by saying how pleased I am to be back in vibrant Hong Kong, in particular in such not just festive but significant circumstances. It is indeed an honor to join you today to mark this historic occasion, the signing of the IOMED Convention. On behalf of the HCCH, I wish to warmly congratulate the government of the People's Republic of China and the authorities of the Hong Kong SAR and all those who have contributed to making this vision a reality. The creation of IOMED signals a new chapter in the evolving landscape of international dispute resolution. It reflects a growing recognition of mediation as a vital tool, not only efficient and cost-effective, but also, and maybe in particular, respectful of cultural and legal diversity and of the enduring value of consensual solutions. Mediation is a versatile and dynamic means of resolving disputes. Whether in commercial, investment, or indeed family contexts, it allows parties to retain agency and dignity and to shape solutions in ways that more formal adversarial processes may not always permit. It is precisely this flexibility and potential for bridge building across different legal traditions that gives mediation its enduring global relevance and makes this moment, the birth of a new intergovernmental organization dedicated to its promotion, so important. At the Hague Conference on Private International Law, the HCCH, or the World Organization for the Unification of Private International Law, we have recognized the importance of mediation long ago. While our mandate does not extend to developing rules for mediation in investment or commercial matters, mediation plays a central role in our work in cross-border family matters. The HCCH's 1980 Child Abduction Convention and the 1996 Child Protection Convention both aim to protect children caught in cross-border conflict, often involving separated parents residing in different countries. In such highly sensitive cases, legal certainty and judicial cooperation are essential, but they are often not enough. Mediation offers a humane, tailored path towards of what we call the Malta process, a dialogue between contracting parties to our children's conventions and non-contracting parties that apply Sharia law. This in itself is a perfect example of building bridges through the promotion of mediation between states with different legal systems. And of course, this image of the bridge is the traditional image we use to reflect and symbolize the work of the HCCH. It is connecting different legal systems, but at both ends of the bridge, the substantive legal system of the states in question remain largely untouched. It is unity while respecting diversity, and this brings us close to the Chinese saying that we heard earlier on this morning. That said, the HCCH's instrument in international civil and commercial matters are not entirely disconnected from this conversation. For instance, Article 11 of the 2019 HCCH Judgments Convention, our most recent treaty, allows for the enforcement of judicial settlements, agreements reached in the context of litigation, but often following mediation. Just to be clear, while the Judgments Convention does not apply to the recognition and enforcement of ADR settlements per se, as these are not, they do not qualify as judgments under Article 3.1b, that is, they are not decisions on the merits given by a court. Settlements concluded as a result of mediation in the course of proceedings before a court, or if subsequently approved by a court, are both covered by the Judgments Convention. Similarly, Article 12 of the 2005 Choice of Court Convention refers to the enforcement of settlements, transactions judiciaires, approved by a court designated in an exclusive choice of court agreement, acknowledging the importance of consensual resolution and subsequent enforcement, even in proceedings initiated before a court. Thus, while not a primary focus, mediation is also present in HCCH instruments on transnational litigation as part of our broader commitment to facilitating the cross-border recognition and enforcement of agreements and outcomes, however reached and regardless of which area of private law. The establishment of IOMED is not only timely, but visionary. It fills an institutional gap in the global dispute resolution landscape and complements the work of other intergovernmental organizations, including the HCCH, by strengthening the place of mediation in global practice. I extend my sincere congratulations once again to all involved. We at the HCCH look forward to exploring areas of complementarity, and we will start as early as tomorrow morning with my dear friend Sun Jin, particularly where the effective cross-border recognition and enforcement of mediated outcomes is concerned. May IOMED thrive in its mission to foster peaceful, respectful, and enduring solutions to international disputes. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Secretary General. Thank you for the last observation, which I think is a mission that we would all endeavor to achieve. And even though the path of HCCH and international commercial investment arbitration do not always cross with each other, but definitely there would be plenty of room and scope for cooperation and joint research in the future. So thank you very much again. And if I may move on to our next speaker, Professor Dorado, the Secretary General of International Institute for the Unification of Private Law. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Right. Thank you very much. First of all, my first words, and those of my organization, should go to celebrate and congratulate the Department for Justice of Hong Kong, excuse me, the People's Republic of China and its Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and indeed each and every person that has worked on the foundation, first preparation, design, negotiation, and foundation of this extraordinary feat, which is no doubt the creation of a new international organization in the area of mediation. I would like to borrow the words from my colleague and friend from Secretary from the Hague Conference, saying this is really quite an achievement which fills a hole that was there and is indeed most welcome. And we too look forward to helping fill the gap with particular initiatives to the extent that we can. When I was asked to present, because unlike other organizations, UNIDROIT has not produced specific rules concerning the use of mediation, but has, however, benefited and contributed to the application of mediation through its material law. I was trying to think of how to present this to you and make it something useful. And first thing that came to my mind is actually something which is very interesting. It's a topic which is halfway in between the prior panel and the current panel, which is, it comes from my old practice before I took my seat in UNIDROIT, which concerns the insolvency of sovereigns. Because of the large scope of this organization, the type of mediations it can provide, think of how things are dealt with when there is an insolvency of a country. The insolvency of a country typically has two types of debts. The debts that countries have vis-à-vis other sovereign creditors, and the debt that they have with banks and financial institutions. Right now, the way you go about doing that is you have to go to two different areas to restructure that. And let's not get it wrong, restructuring is about someone mediating in a technical way, how to make offers that will be acceptable for the parties that will need to take a loss in that action. So if you want to negotiate with countries, you go to what's called the Paris Club. If you want to negotiate with financiers, you go to the London Club. And what this is providing here is a venue where a country can actually sit down with everyone in a collective manner and take benefit, the profit of specialized mediators that might facilitate an agreement for the restructuring of sovereign debt. Such thing does not exist. And there was, and there has been attempts by the IMF and others to produce a venue, but so far there was no political buy-in for that. So this might, perhaps in the future, if provided with sufficient rules to deal with problems which can arise not as commercial disputes between two privates or other types of disputes between two nations, but somewhere in between, which is what sovereign debt, excessive sovereign debt is all about. Let's not forget that states pay because they ultimately decide to pay, not because they are forced to pay, unlike other institutions. And that is where mediation can be really helpful. So this is a venue or a path you might want to consider, or I'm sure you've already considered, and I'm just saying something which is obvious. Another element that I wanted to underscore is UNIDROIT has been around now for almost 100 years, and the work that we do is private law, but it's substantive private law. So although we have some rules which are quite important on procedure as a whole, we want to think that our main contribution to the activity of mediation lies on the legal frameworks that the mediators will apply when trying to seek a solution between a controversy stemming from different parties. So and when I say the law that they would need to apply, I don't refer to the procedural rules that regulate the mediation, but if the dispute is based on contract, complicated as it might be, which law would help the mediator come up with a solution which might be neither yours nor his, but somewhere in between. And that's precisely where UNIDROIT can be useful. Our restatement and contract law, the unilateral principles of international commercial contracts, and other instruments. Why? Because these instruments of transnational law are instruments which are very well balanced. They meet both ways, both parties, somewhere in between. They meet both legal families, civil law and common law, somewhere in between. They are technical, they are non-political, and therefore they're easy and understandable by everyone. And they could conform a tool which a mediator might want to use when trying to solve a dispute which is concerns private law. Of course, if it's public law, I have nothing to say. I will finish calling your attention to an important project which we have underway with the International Chamber of Commerce on international investment contracts, which is a massive group with experts from all over the world and also enhanced participation from states and from relevant stakeholders, where we're trying to contractualize certain standards in international investment contracts, which is an area direct investments have been growing in a sustained manner for a long time. So this is an area where we are trying to produce some standards based on our transnational law instruments. These contracts are usually long-term. Because they're long-term, they are taken as relational contracts in which many things can happen. There can be changes in the law, and stabilization clauses don't always work. There can be elements of force majeure. We are seeing turmoil internationally. There can be causes for hardship allegations in the context of this type of investments. Well, all of that makes up for a complicated scenario, and this group is analyzing how to get out of that. And I can guarantee that mediation is one of the elements that is being seen with more sympathy, not mandatory mediation, but rather self-accepted, mutually accepted mediation by the parties. And so if you're interested, I'd encourage you to follow the work that's about to finish. But that's an area where mediation, and very much the mediation that you presented here today, would be of use. And I apologize to the organizer for the minute I went over time. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. Particularly thank you for raising the very interesting questions of insolvency and choice of law in the context of international mediation, which I think more often than not is not that often discussed in the context of mediation. And I'm sure IOMEC and your institute can work together to see whether we can, in the context of mediation, overcome the hurdles which are created by the various different jurisdictions and the governing law. Thank you very much. Our next speaker, the General Secretary of the International Center for Settlement of Investment Dispute, will be conducted through a video speech. The speaker is Ms. Martina Polasek. Can we have the video ready?
Hello. My name is Martina Polasek, and I am Secretary General of ICSID, the International Center for Settlement of Investment Disputes. Congratulations to all state representatives and parties who participated in today's signing ceremony of the Convention on the Establishment of the International Organization for Mediation, the IOM. At ICSID, we see great potential in the amicable resolution of disputes. Notably, 1/3 of our cases are resolved before a final ruling is made. And this often takes place because the parties negotiate settlement agreements. We are confident that by integrating mediation into the investment dispute settlement process, we can further enhance the chances of actually reaching this type of amicable resolution. And that is why in 2022, we introduced the first institutional mediation rules adopted by states specifically designed for international investment disputes. The ICSID mediation rules are designed to complement our rules for arbitration, conciliation, and fact-finding, and they can be used independently or alongside these rules, providing flexibility in resolving disputes. The ICSID mediation rules are available to both investors and states, and they don't need to require either to be a party to the ICSID Convention. Mediation at ICSID is a voluntary process to facilitate a negotiated resolution of disputes. And I'd like to share with you two innovative features of the ICSID mediation rules. The first feature is their availability whenever negotiation is deemed appropriate. As the graphic on the screen shows, mediation can be initiated at the outset of the investment relationship or at the first sign of a disagreement. And in fact, it is at the outset of a dispute that mediation can have the most impact. It provides a mechanism for parties to resolve issues quickly, ensuring the continuation of investment projects for the benefit of the investor, but also for the benefit of the state. ICSID mediation is also available after a notice of dispute has been issued or in parallel to an ongoing arbitration proceeding. A second feature I'd like to highlight is Mediation Rule 6. While mediation can be initiated through a prior written agreement, Mediation Rule 6 also permits a party to submit a request for mediation that includes an offer to mediate. And ICSID will then forward this offer to the other party for acceptance. And if the offer is accepted, ICSID will move forward with the registration process. Mediation Rule 6 is meant to support parties in reaching an agreement to mediate by engaging ICSID, a trusted organization, at the time of consent. And this has proven helpful in practice, and our participation has made a difference in the parties' negotiations. We have also seen that even if parties do not ultimately agree to mediate under our rules, the act of submitting a request for mediation often led to the parties starting a dialogue. At ICSID, we have been working on several initiatives to promote mediation. We're calling the parties' attention to the possibility of mediation alongside arbitration or at the start of an arbitration. And to that end, we have updated our cover letter when registering arbitrations to inform parties about the availability of mediation alongside arbitration. We have published comprehensive information on investment mediation on our website, including a background paper on investment mediation and an overview of investment treaty clauses on mediation. And as the graphics on the screen show, we have been conducting extensive research on mediation provisions in investment treaties. Our research has identified 5 broad categories of investment mediation clauses, and we plan to publish additional information on this topic soon. Now, we're actively fostering capacity building in mediation by collaborating with local institutions and regional partners. Our aim is to promote mediation by enhancing the skills and knowledge of state officials, of legal practitioners, and also organizations globally. The goal of these initiatives is to make mediation a widely adopted method for resolving international disputes. At ICSID, we are committed to supporting efforts and initiatives that promote the amicable resolution of international disputes. Resorting to mediation not only saves time and cost for the parties involved, but it also helps to preserve relationships between investors and states. And maintaining these relationships is really essential for the sustainable development and fostering economic growth. So today, let us celebrate the establishment of the IOM as a significant initiative to promote mediation. The establishment of the IOM reflects our shared belief in the effectiveness of mediation to resolve international disputes, and I wish you every success in this wonderful endeavor. Congratulations again to all the states that have supported this convention. Thank you.
Thank you. We thank for the sharing in relation to the exit mediation rule and a set of rules which we're going to certainly look at in the future. Our next speaker, Dr. Sun Jin, as the Director General of the IOMAT Preparatory Office and also the Chair of the IOMAT Convention on Elaboration. Dr. Sun is in the best position to tell you a lot of things about IOMAT. Indeed, if Tom Cruise is in the best position to tell you how Mission Impossible is created, Dr. Sun will be in a very good position to tell you how the mission of setting up IOMAT is made possible. Dr. Sun.
Thank you. Thank you. Is okay? Okay. Thank you. Actually, the title of my speech is actually borrowed from Mr. Yuan, The Making of the Hong Kong Convention on the IOMAT. It's a great pleasure to speak at this prestigious global forum. As the Director General of the IOMAT Preparatory Office and the Chair of the IOMAT Convention Deliberation, I'm glad to share with you actually the making of the Hong Kong Convention on the IOMAT. In recent years, there has been a growing demand in the international community for mediation. However, so far there is no treaty-based intergovernmental body dedicated to mediation, and the existing dispute settlement organizations generally take the mediation as a measure supplementary to or proceeding to litigation or arbitration procedures. A new organization is needed to take up the role that has long been left vacant in the global dispute resolution landscape. That's why, in 2022, China and like-minded countries concluded the joint statement on the future establishment of the IOMAT, setting down the common goal of jointly initiating the IOMAT. Following the convention conclusion of the joint statement, the IOMAT Preparatory Office was set up in Hong Kong SAR in February 2023 and mandated to organize and coordinate intergovernmental elaboration of the Convention on the establishment of the IOMAT. From May 2023 to October 2024, the Preparatory Office successfully organized 5 sessions of the elaboration on the IOMAT Convention. During the 20 months, my team worked with the best negotiation partners in the most inclusive and consensus-based diplomatic process to achieve the best results. The headquarters of the IOMAT was decided to be at the Hong Kong SAR of China at the 3rd session. The Hong Kong Convention on the IOMAT was successfully finalized at the 5th session. Dear colleague, we just witnessed the great event of the signing ceremony of the Hong Kong Convention, the most important moment on the introduction of this landmark document to the world. The Convention, composed of 11 chapters and 63 articles, is the constitutional instrument of the IOMAT. Due to the time constraints, I will briefly introduce one of the most essential parts of the Convention, the scope of cases of the IOMAT. For those who wish to learn more about the Convention, you are welcome to visit the official website of the IOMAT launched this morning. There are 3 types of disputes that could be submitted to the IOMAT and the Convention: disputes between states, commercial or investment disputes between a state and a national of another state, and international commercial disputes between private parties. Party autonomy will be highlighted when settled in motion and throughout conduct of mediation. Only disputes submitted by the disputing parties on a voluntary basis can be mediated under the organization. I would like to underline 2 points. Regarding the disputes between states, the Convention sets thresholds for initiation mediation under the LMAD, such as the prerequisite of consent by all disputing states, allowing states to exclude any type of disputes by declaration, and the required prior consent of the third state involved in the dispute. The thresholds empower states to have strong control over the initiation of the mediation process and the LMAD. Regarding the international commercial disputes between private parties, following the common practice in the field of private international law, I suppose to see the smiling face of Dr. Berlusconi and Madame Julen-Blanc. A specific provision in the Convention on non-unified legal systems clarifies that this category shall be construed to include disputes between parties in different territory units of a state. Dear colleagues, when we look at the landscape of ADR or mediation, one may ask a question. Why the LMAD? In addition to other mediation institutions, why do we need to establish an intergovernmental organization dedicated to mediation? My answers to these important questions can be summarized as the following 5 C's. First, commitment. The LMAD embodies strong political will and governmental support for mediation, promoting its usage at national and international levels. Second, convention. The LMAD, the Hong Kong Convention, will be the first global convention to formulate the fundamental principles and rules concerning international mediation and fostering the harmonization and the development of international mediation law. Third, credibility. As a state-backed intergovernmental organization, the LMAD ensures independence, neutrality, and reliable dispute resolution. Fourth, capability. The LMAD will assemble panels of top-tier mediators through its member states for the expertise, reputation, and integrity to ensure the quality and outcomes of the mediation. Fifth, coordination. The LMAD will take the lead to enhance the global mediation ecosystem by collaboration, cooperation, and capacity building to increase mediation awareness and expand the pools of skilled mediators, in particularly from the global south. Dear colleagues, establish an intergovernmental organization from the ground up is not an easy task. Going forward, there's still a lot of work to do before we hit the finish line. In this regard, very fortunately, we have leading expertise in this area to help the PO, like Mr. Chen and Mr. Gaston, to facilitate the expert groups concerning the rules of the investment mediation. And also we have Professor Xing-Ho Yi and Ambassador Rita to co-facilitate the rules concerning the interstate disputes. We thank for their contribution. As mandated, the prepared office will perform the functions of interim secretariat of the LMAD, and we are determined to continue our efforts with all the participating states to establish the LMAD as soon as possible. Dear colleagues, the LMAD will be the first and only intergovernmental organization dedicated to mediation that gives full play of the mediation. To be a global public good for all, the LMAD will enrich the practice of peaceful settlement of international disputes enshrined in the UN Charter and offer a new option to all countries for peace, cooperative, party-owned, and efficient resolution. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Dr. Sun. Thank you for giving us a very comprehensive and yet very focused narrative on the genesis and the future work of IOMED. Because of the time, perhaps we should move on to our next speaker, Dr. Li Miao, the Legal Director of China Merchants Port Holding Company Limited. Dr. Li?
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
First, I would like to join my fellow panelists in congratulating the successful execution of the Convention on the establishment of the IOMED and also the MOU. So it is a milestone event in furthering the spirit of the UN charters to resolve these international disputes peacefully. The establishment of the IOMED headquarters in Hong Kong demonstrates the central government's continuous support for reinforcing Hong Kong as the center for the international legal and dispute resolution services in the Asia-Pacific region and also beyond. It also demonstrates, it also recognizes Hong Kong's long-established strength in the rule of law and the legal professionalism. The company I work for, the China Merchants Port Holdings, is a state-owned company, and it's also a Hong Kong-listed company. It operates and invested in about 52 ports in about 26 countries and regions. It will also continue to grow its port business abroad. As other international investment in infrastructure, so it takes a long time to build and operate a port project. So a concession usually takes about like 20 years, 30 years, or maybe 50 years with an option to extend. So during this long contractual period, it is possible that the external economic environment or the geopolitical environment may change. So that may make things may not be able to go as planned. So it seems the disputes, big or small, is inevitable. There's another feature of the international investment in port industry is that it is difficult to relocate a business to another place like easily. To make the project go smoothly, it is important to build a trust with the host states and the local partners. So unlike the litigation or arbitration, which is more adversarial, mediation encourages cooperation and compromise. So it gives the parties an opportunity to express their opinions or their concerns openly and frankly, but also retains the amicable business relationship. So another advantage of mediation is that unlike the litigation and arbitration, which has a long process of pleadings, discovery, and court appearances, the mediation can avoid all that. So it is possible to give like a quick solution. So the efficiency is very important for like international investments because delays may cause damage to the everyday business activities or the overall long-run investment. Mediation can also offer a flexible remedies to the disputes. Like in litigations or arbitrations, the judge or the arbitral tribunal are constrained by what has been agreed in the contract. They can't rewrite the contract for the parties. But in the mediation, the parties are free to negotiate whatever practical solutions they can use to resolve their issues. So they can amend their existing contract or revise their business plan, their original business plan. So it is more flexible. Mediation is also can be very useful for like multi-party disputes. Like disputes arise in one contract may have like domino effect. So for example, if a home state delivers a piece of land which has a defect, under the lease agreement, it may affect the construction contract between the the foreign investor and these contractors. It may also affect the sale and purchase contract between the foreign investor and their suppliers. So these kind of contracts may have a great different kinds of dispute resolution mechanisms, and also maybe different governing laws. It may be impossible for one court or one arbitral tribunal to resolve all these issues. But mediation can serve as an alternative dispute resolution for this kind of situation. So as long as every party agrees to mediate, so all these issues can be resolved as a package. So these are the benefits I observed from the perspective of a foreign investor. I think to achieve a successful and fruitful mediation, it is also very important to have an experienced mediator who is familiar with the relevant laws and the industry, be familiar with the cultural backgrounds of the parties, and most importantly, I think it's better that they are well versed with the diplomacy. So that makes a big difference between the mediation and the parties' negotiations. I know that the Department of Justice has co-organized a program, a training program for investor and state, for training investor and state international disputes. So that program has trained more than 370 state officials from more than 40 countries. So I think this is very forward-looking initiative, and it can contribute immensely to the success of IOMED. So it's about advertisement time. So anyone who would like to pursue a career in mediation, so they are very encouraged to enroll in this program. So that's all from me today. So thank you all for listening.
Thank you, Dr. Lee. China merchant with business in so many different parts of the world is exactly one of those type of companies and enterprise that IOMED intend to serve when international commercial disputes arise. And we would, of course, certainly like to hear more from the end users, including enterprise like China merchants. I think with this remark, this session of the forum is concluded. And let me, on behalf of the organizer, express our gratitude to all the speakers for their time and for their very valuable insights and thoughts. So thank you again, and if I may invite you to give them a round of applause. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you once again for such an engaging discussion. But please remain on seats while we're cleaning up the table for some photos, okay? So should we move together, sit closer to each other for a group photo? Yes, please. Okay, so please have a look at our photographer. Thank you. Okay, let's have a, yes, yeah. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, please give them a big round of applause. Thank you, our moderator, and also our guest speakers for the engaging and thought-provoking discussion. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you. Thank you all. And please have a seat as we proceed to the last segment of the forum. 好了，在这个时候呢，我们还有一个非常重要的环节。Coming up, we have another important segment of the forum. So may I invite our distinguished guests to please take your seat. Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we approach the end of today's forum, we are honored to invite Ambassador Ma Ximing, Vice President of the Chinese Society of International Law, member of the International Law Commission, to deliver the closing remarks. Please welcome Ambassador Ma.
Your Excellencies, distinguished delegates, dear colleagues and friends, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is my great honor to participate in the Global Forum on International Mediation. Here, in this prestigious gathering, great minds converge to inspire and illuminate our path forward. My heartfelt gratitude goes to Hong Kong SAR government and the ROMAD Preparatory Office, whose dedication has made this forum possible. To each distinguished guest among us, your presence and insights are not just contributions, but vital building blocks in ROMAD, historic development. Ladies and gentlemen, ROMAD emerges as important and new public good in international rule of law, a creative endeavor in international dispute settlement, perfectly aligned with humanity, shared aspirations for a world governed by law, strengthened by collective wisdom, and united in the peaceful development. This morning, we are honored to hear remarks of His Excellency Wang Yi, members of Political Bureau of CPC, Central Committee, and Minister of Foreign Affairs, who systematically elaborated the profound significance of ROMAD's establishment and provided clear guidance for development in the future. Our distinguished speakers this morning have explored critical frontiers from state-to-state mediation to international investment and commercial mediation. Their analysis has revealed not just mediation distinct advantages, but its transformative potential in resolving international dispute. Throughout today's rich discussions, I have been deeply impressed by your high expectations for ROMAD, for your invaluable insights. We are grateful, encouraged, and inspired. I'm even more convinced that ROMAD will have a promising future and become an instrumental institution for international dispute resolution. Ladies and gentlemen, drawing from rich insights shared by our distinguished guests and friends, and bearing in mind ROMAD future development of rules and practices, I would like to propose that ROMAD further demonstrate the core values and the unique strengths of mediation by focusing on three priorities. First, ROMAD must steadfastly uphold party autonomy as fundamental principle in all its values and practices. Voluntary participation by parties is essential to mediation. By placing the party's will at the center, from initiation to implementation, we ensure that parties remain the true master of their dispute resolution. Second, ROMAD must harness mediation's distinctive strengths, their flexibility, simplicity, efficiency, and cost-effectiveness. Compares arbitration and judicial settlement, mediation as diplomatic means of settlement offers great flexibility, more applicable norms, shorter duration, lower cost, higher efficiency, and easier implementation. As a way of soft governance, mediation draws inspiration from advantages of all means of dispute settlement, and take into account human sentiments, moral standards, and legal principles. It offers optimal choice for enduring resolution to parties. Third, ROMAD must remain committed to the ultimate goal, achieving win-win outcomes. Mediation is about pursuing shared interest through cooperation. To this end, it is important to harness the mediation process to encourage the parties to have more conservation rather than confrontation. Focus more on what unites rather than what divides, and look to the future rather than dwelling on past grievances. By bringing out mediation profound power to deepen understanding, sustain cooperation, foster reconciliation, and resolving contradictions, we can transcend the zero-sum thinking and pursue all win. You lose, I win is not true win. The true win is all win. Ladies and gentlemen, while this global forum is coming to the conclusion, the future ROMAD has just begun to unfold. This innovative endeavor demands not just our collaboration at this moment, but also our long-term commitment and perseverance. Your continued engagement, including case referral, pooling of talents, global advocacy, and input on governance improvement, will contribute to ROMAD's success. Let's work together to fully tap the potential of mediation and forge ROMAD into reputable and authoritative institution for international dispute settlement. Before I conclude, I want to express my deepest gratitude once again to each and every distinguished guest who has joined us in Hong Kong. Your presence here today and your support for ROMAD have made this forum truly remarkable. We look forward to meeting you again at ROMAD's grand opening. I thank you all.
Thank you, Ambassador Ma. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, the forum is coming to an end. Once again, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And we hope you all have an enjoyable evening. Thank you. So as a kind reminder,